Shinso, the Local Cryptid, by The Weeping Maple. Read by My Lost and Found. Summary. In a school-wide meme, Shinsou Hitoshi becomes the local cryptid. Everyone knew him, the sullen, purple-haired kid from General Studies who got to the third round of the sports festival, only to be knocked out in the first round after a lackluster battle. He showed up to his class. Of course he did. This was UA. No one dared waste the immense opportunities given by attending there. But after class, it was like he vanished. The bell would ring and the students would be dismissed, and someone would turn around to chat to Shinso, and he wouldn't be there. Already gone. It started in Class C. It was a joke. Someone saw Shinso walk across an empty courtyard in school, sticking to the shadows of the building in the afternoon light, and the person whipped their phone out and started recording. "Oh my god, guys, I found the local cryptid. This rare sighting is on par with finding someone like Mothman or Bakugo's kindness. Oh god, I really hope Bakugo doesn't see this. But look at the clarity of the purple cryptid. You can almost see the title of the cryptid book he's carrying. Oh, maybe if we... Nope, he's gone around the corner. Let's follow to see how long we can record him for. Oh, I hope I didn't scare him away with the cryptid's only weakness. A camera." The boy had been whispering in a low voice filled with humor and goodwill, hoping to be able to show Shinso the recording and ask his permission to post it for a joke. But when he rounded the corner, phone still recording, Shinso was gone. The side of the building he had rounded had no bushes to hide in, no doors to enter, no trees to climb. Shinso was merely gone. The 1C kid had cut the video just as he realized what he was seeing. Nothing, and started to gasp in wonder. That ending left a lot of people laughing. In fact, when showing it to a friend who had demanded to see it before he went and tried to find Shinso to ask permission to post it online, the friend had laughed so hard she stole the boy's phone and uploaded it to the class 1C group chat before he could snatch it back. And from there, it just kept going. Someone in the group chat uploaded it to YouTube. Someone else created a page called Shinso on a popular cryptid site and posted not only the video, but also all future videos and pictures of blurred indigo hair leaving the frame. Yet, no one ever found Shinso to ask him about it. Eventually, the whole school got involved in some way. The first years were the most reliable at gaining footage, but the second years and third years had a blast passing them around, laughing and cahooting with the rest of the school. The teachers were too busy laughing behind closed doors to properly admonish those who shared the most, because the cult following of the boy was almost too similar to their own jokes about a certain sleepy black-haired pro-hero. Class 1C were the forefathers of the joke, but it was the hero classes who really went the extra mile. Uraraka would set her phone to record, remove its gravity, and float it around the school, staying as far away as she dared, lest Shinso spot her before she get any footage. Her recordings were usually all grainy and indistinct from distance and lack of quality of her flip phone camera, but she would swear up and down that it was Shinso in her footage. Ashido, Kaminari, and Kirishima worked together like the world's worst spies, with walkie-talkies and black balaclavas creeping around the school with absolutely zero indiscretion. Each were armed with their phone cameras, although they lacked the finesse to actually capture anything, too busy giving status updates to each other. Suro laughed the most at his friends, but he would also edit all of their videos for them. Try as the trio might, they couldn't get Suro to join their searches, no matter how much Kaminari whined about how perfect his quirk was for the job, or how much Ashido bribed him with cookies, or Kirishima promised to get Bakugo to help him with his studies. The few times they caught anything, it always turned out to be Midoriya, who spent most of his time participating in the hunt by wearing a purple wig and drawing black bags under his eyes just to screw with people. Midoriya would wander around as inconspicuously as he could, allowing himself to be caught on camera before he would spin around, rip the wig off, and leap away, infused with one for all as he cackled with laughter. Todoroki was his right-hand man, looking out for cryptid hunters for Midoriya to sabotage. Sometimes they enlisted the help of Shiozaki, who was admittedly against the recordings. Their little act left many people both amused and annoyed. Monoma tried to get involved, but his video diaries ended up turning into him walking around the school searching while he vented his anger over Class 1A. Kendo ended up supporting this because it left him with less anger to actually direct at the students of Class 1A. Someone pointed out that he once actually did find Shinso, a purple blur appearing for a split second while he was ranting about Bakugo for the nth time. He was too busy at the time to notice, but spent weeks lording it over Class 1A. Koda even got involved, sending animals every which way to find anything, really. His only downfall was that he couldn't, or wouldn't, send them inside. He wasn't about to send a bird indoors for a joke, and he wasn't invested enough or desperate enough to use bugs. His fear was greater than his need. Tsuyu and Ida, unexpectedly, were the best at gaining footage. No one even expected the honest yet trustworthy Tsuyu and the rule-worshipping Ida to enter the fray, let alone team up. Ida had even berated many students on the infringement of student privacy before turning around and revealing his own crystal-clear footage. Some suspected they had found Shinso and gotten his explicit permission to partake. No one knew how they did it. Only that more than once they had caught Shinso walking around a corner, right into their camera. Once Shinso literally walked into them, spilling both he and Tsuyu, who was carrying the camera, onto the ground. He had recovered first and dashed away. The look of surprise filling the screen had quickly been screenshotted and posted around campus immediately. The picture became the poster child of the entire operation. Nidoran, Mareep, I'm in position. Over. Familiar red hair stuck out from the eye slits of the balaclava. The camera shook as Kirishima faced it towards himself and gave a cheery wave, still holding the walkie-talkie. His eyes were bright and mischievous. Affirmative, Geodude. But do I really need to be Mareep? They're fluffy and kind of useless. Oh, over. Of course you have to be Mareep. That's exactly what you are. Fluffy and kind of useless. Over. The camera shook as Kirishima chuckled, while turning to face the courtyard where he was hiding. He was crouched in some bushes in the shadow of Heights Alliance, in perfect viewing of the main entrance of the school. The camera flipped viewpoint, the video edited to flip over to Ashido's camera. She was lying on her stomach on the roof of the main school building, a pair of binoculars pressed against her eyes. Her phone was propped up beside her to view her surveying the area. Her balaclava had 2 small holes cut in the top to allow her horns to stick through. In position, but no view of the Jirachi. Are you sure we'll find him if we're only looking outside? Ashido took the walkie-talkie away from her mouth before quickly fumbling for it. Over. The static that replied sounded vaguely amused, if possible. Why are we calling him Jirachi again? Over. Ashido opened her mouth to answer when Kaminari spoke up through the static. Because Pokemon Legends states that anyone who finds the Jirachi gets a wish. Duh. Ashido laughing into the microphone, and Kaminari could be heard sputtering as he quickly added, Over. Ashido turned and grabbed her phone, her black eyes glittering with amusement as she turned it to show the land spread out before her. The UA campus was huge, but between the tall buildings and fake cities for rescue drills lay the glimmering city line of civilization. The dusk light reflected orange on the tall office buildings, and some offices already had inner lights on, preparing to work the evening shift. Although the phone microphone Ashido used wasn't good enough to pick it up, the low buzz of people could be heard faintly. The movement from viewing Ashido to viewing the campus wasn't made for admiring the scenery, however. It was made on the off chance she would be the one to snag footage of Shinso. On the roof, she had more chance than anyone. How's it looking up there, Nidoran? Over. Pretty boring, Geodude. I mean, the sunset's pretty, but no sign of the true treasure. Are you sure he isn't indoors in his dorm? It would be a bit of a serious breach of privacy to break into his room. Over. That's why we have Mareep scouting the corridors of Heights Alliance 1C. Other class students trying to find the Jirachi have become a normal sight, so now the students that live there aren't too bothered. Right, Mareep? The video switched to Kaminari's view, who was trailing the corridor of what looked to be level 3 of the 1C dorm, if the elevator number behind him was any indication. He entered the elevator and waved at the camera in the reflection of the stainless steel wall. He looked ridiculous. His balaclava pulled back in some sort of crumpled black beanie so the residents of the dorm building weren't too distracted by the electrified boy. His hair stood out in every direction. I wish it was Pikachu. Even being Luxray would be better, he mumbled to himself, before holding down the button on the walkie-talkie and speaking to the rest of the team. Yeah, Geodude, you forgot to say over. 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 Kaminari huffed with amusement and exited the elevator on level 2, where the student with brown hair was exiting the room. Hey Kaminari, another Cryptid video? He greeted. It wasn't like Kaminari knew who he was, but everyone knew Kaminari. He was a member of the infamous Class 1A. The pair fist bump as Kaminari passed. Yep! Any chances you're gonna tell us outsiders where Shinsou's dorm is, finally? Or are you gonna lord it over the rest of us still? Kaminari smiled, the camera view dipping to waist height as he exchanged words with the general studies student. The student laughed. No way! We gotta have something over you, hero class. You're always the ones to get footage of him. It would be unfair of us to give you our intel, just like Ida and Suyu. They don't tell you guys how they get their footage, right? Kaminari laughed and moved on. All right, man. Have a good night. Hopefully we'll get some footage, if only Midoriya and Todoroki didn't foil us all the time. The camera was now facing the other way, but it was easy to tell the other boy was smiling. Kaminari had his back to the corridor that the camera was facing, so he didn't see when a certain bush of purple hair twitched from around the corner, and a black-ringed eye creased with silent laughter appeared, only for it to disappear as soon as it appeared. KW Girl 13XX, 35 minutes ago. OMG, did you see the flash of purple at 4:13? Shinso or not? Mighty Midnight, 2 hours ago. Shinso can come be my local cryptid any day. Bird Boy 0615, just now. Has anyone actually found Shinso to ask him if he's okay with these recordings? Candlestein Tangerine, 6 minutes ago. The real question is how Midoriya has fooled so many people so many times and is alive. Tog FX 7, 4 hours ago. Shinso, my soul sister, be cryptid with me. 4 replies. Patrick 2. Is that you, Mothman? Gargantuar. More like Bakubro's kindness. Is that you? King Explodokill. Fucking die! Garganitar. Rip that one Class C kid. Life. Don't know her. 32 minutes ago. Is Shinso real? 1 reply. Insomnicat. Are you real? Internet fame is measured in level of viralness. The Shinso cryptid meme grew into full stardom at the end of the first month, when Jiro made a compilation video of every sighting so far, plus funny commentary from people searching. The video exploded. Every teen across Japan had seen the video, and making their own jokes. Some attempted to make parodies, although none were as popular as the one compilation Hagakure and Ojiro made of Shinso's face plastered over video footage of Bigfoot and Yetis and Mothman. The most iconic was one of Shinso's surprised face from Ida and Suyu's video, plastered over a suspected Bigfoot while the cameraman sprinted away screaming, "It's so hairy!" Some started a donations page for Save the Endangered Shinso, with a picture of Shinso kneeling over a cat, petting it, that someone had snapped outside of the school. Many suspected Midoriya had taken it, whilst actually hanging out with the elusive boy. A wild concept. A cryptid being seen in public with a civilian? All the fame didn't come without downfall. After Hatsume Mei's decision to add to the meme by hacking the security cameras, she found a discrepancy in the footage, and inadvertently found out where a kid from management course with a quirk that could temporarily freeze electronics was ditching school every lunchtime. Nezu looked entirely too vindictive as he told Hatsume she would be put on probation from building and designing for a month, and made to fill out the paperwork for the hero course's suits as they were being sent in and out for repairs. Hatsume, in return, looked entirely too devastated. However, after that was all said and done, Hatsume did design new camera software with failsafes put in place to stop anyone from freezing the cameras. And when asked if she found Shinso in her hacking escapades, she would scowl and mutter something about staff taking her footage from her. After that, UA put their foot down and banned any more active searching for Shinso, on school property or not. A joke was a joke, and that was that. 4 blocks from UA High, there was a cafe. The Mochi Cafe was famous for its fantastic mochi, as the name suggested, and after-school students flocked to grab a bite. It wasn't really a sit-in place, which kind of neglected the title of cafe, but no one complained too much. It was there that twin bushes of purple and green hovered over the counter, eyeing the menu overhead one weekend, a month or two after the cryptid joke had come to a grinding halt. "I'll have a peach mochi, please," Midoriya finally decided. Shinso snorted at his companion's decision. "Peach is revolting," he scoffed. "I'll have the green tea mochi. Thanks." "Green tea is revolting." Midoriya gave his own scoff of disgust. "It's not sweet enough." "Not my fault your sweet tooth is over the moon." Shinso shrugged, wordlessly accepting the mochi from the waitress, who was smiling at their little tiff. He nibbled on the cream-covered dessert delicately, savoring it. Midoriya gave a quick thanks as he took his mochi, eagerly sinking his teeth into it. After swallowing, he shot back, "Peach isn't that sweet. Blueberry is undoubtedly the sweetest on the menu. You just don't have any form of sweet tooth." Shinso shrugged as the pair exited the store and made their way back to UA. It's true. It's true. It had become some form of habit for the pair to get mochi every few weeks. They'd eat and chat about nothing, then head back to UA. It was the most socializing Shinso did. Not that he aspired to be social. Shinso would always get a green tea mochi, and Midoriya would whore around the board, as Shinso would say, trying something different each time to try and work out the ideal flavor. So far, he was undecided on the ultimate mochi. "So, why did you go along with the cryptid joke, Shinso?" Midoriya asked as they crossed the street. He had never asked Shinso that before, never remembering to ask him until he was back in his dorms. Shinso was atrocious at answering texts, so Midoriya had been trying to remember to ask him in person. Shinso popped the last of his mochi in his mouth and chewed it thoughtfully. Finally, he swallowed and answered, "It was funny." Midoriya looked at the other boy doubtfully. Shinso just shrugged. It was fun to find more and more creative ways of escaping people's notice. It was even funnier when you joined in and decided to dress up as me to fuck with people. The dressing up was your idea anyway. Todoroki just followed along and Shizuki hated the whole thing. Midoriya reminded him. Yes, don't cut me off. Shinso said harshly, before smoothing himself out. As I was saying, it was funny. I was an internet sensation, Midoriya. It was hilarious. Wouldn't you want to become an internet meme? Midoriya gave him a long look before shaking his head. No, it could put my hero persona in the future in peril. I want people to see me and think, wow, he's a truly great hero, not, oh look, it's that meme. Is meme the right word? American jargon confuses me. From years back. Shinso rolled his shoulders and stretched his arms out in front of him. I suppose. You guys in the hero class are guaranteed some form of job in the hero force if you don't get expelled before school finishes. I don't have such great chances, so any form of internet fame could help me get acknowledged. Maybe people will remember my name if I'm more than just that kid from general studies. Shinso glared at the ground with that, lost in his own thoughts. Midoriya walked along beside him helplessly, trying to find a new approach at the topic they had argued over multiple times to try and help his friend to see it from his view. The pair slipped into silence instead. The city bustled around them, seeming to grow louder as they no longer had each other to listen to. The sun was beginning to set, and the sky was streaked with red and gold. Fellow pedestrians melted down the side roads as they approached UA, the glass monolith stagnant for the weekend. A few lights within the school were on, and Midoriya knew one of them was Nezu's office, the mammalian creature rarely leaving his office before sundown. The gate loomed before them, the gates closed and foreboding to all those who didn't regularly pass through them. To the pair of students, the gates were welcoming them home. It was odd how UA had truly become a home to them. The change to a boarding school was not without its opposition. Midoriya himself could attest to that. But now everyone was settled in, he almost wouldn't have it any other way. Almost. He did miss his mother, after all. The gatekeeper checked the boys' day passes and IDs and waved them through the gate. The gate gave a sharp beep as the gate slid open and shut. The beep was unnecessary, but it eased the students to hear when they were fully shut. The reason the school became a boarding school was not forgotten by anyone. As Shinso and Midoriya reached the Heights Alliance dorms, Shinso turned to Midoriya to say goodbye. He had a wry smile on his face. "I'll let you in on a little secret." Shinso grinned, the dusky light casting his face in shades of peach. Midoriya faced his friend hesitantly, unsure he wanted to know a secret that had the unusually pessimistic boy grinning so madly. "I was the person who uploaded the first video to YouTube and initially created the page on the Cryptid website. I created the whole meme. Suyu worked it out when she caught me in the library at lunch searching up my own name, and Ida overheard us. That was when she and Ida teamed up with me and created some of the best footage. I orchestrated the whole thing." Shinso grinned madly. His eyes were a little wild. Midoriya was suddenly struck with an image of Aizawa in his maniacal grins. He shook it away as Shinso continued. "I used Suyu and Ida to find out where people were recording, just as you used Todoroki and Shizaki. I'd poke my head out if I felt like it, or just follow the recorder whilst trying not to laugh. It was honestly too easy. People are bloody idiots." Shinso took a step backwards and laughed. "And that's the truth, Midoriya. That's why I went along with the joke. Because I made the joke." He turned and started walking to the 1C dorm building without saying goodbye, just leaving Midoriya stunned and confused as the world around them was peacefully bathed in the orange sunset. I don't think I'll ever stop loving crack fics. They're just so amazing. And this one was so good. I love cryptids. I have a Mothman t-shirt. Best thing I've ever found at Value Village. And I love Shinso. He is tired purple boy and he's great. So I love this fic and I hope you guys enjoyed it.